How's it going, everybody? I'm Logan from Logan Reviews It All, and this is the Want Join pressure pot cooker and canner that they have sent to me for the purpose of this review. But these opinions are all my own. I'm actually going to cook a meal with you here that would normally take you the better part of 2 hours to get made. With this, it's going to take me less than 30 minutes to do it. These are amazing. Let's get started. Alright, so the basic features of a pressure pot cooker and canner like this: you're going to have a gauge on top, you're going to have a pressure release valve right back here on the back. It's got two automatic little pressure hats just like this, and what those do is as the pressure in the pot builds up, they'll kind of dance around and they'll release some of the pressure and keep it from getting way too over pressurized in the pot. It also has a pressure release right here on the handle. That way when you unlock the lid, any residual pressure that's still in there can be released before you take the lid off. Alright, so basically what I'm going to be making for you is a chicken and vegetable noodle casserole. I've got 2 chicken breasts, boneless, skinless here, that I cut up earlier. We're going to go into the pot with those, just like that. Got a little bit of olive oil here into the pot, just like that. I've got some seasonings here: salt, pepper, Cajun spice from Tony Chachere's, and some oregano. I'm going to just dump that in like so. Next up, we got a quart of chicken broth. We're going to put that in as well. Just go ahead, put the whole thing into the pot. Next up, something I like to do that not a lot of other people do: a little bit of Zatarain's shrimp and crab boil. It gives any dish that you're cooking just a little bit of a South Louisiana kind of a flavor, and I like that a lot. So we're going to go with that. We're going to open up a couple of cans of mushroom stems and pieces here. We're going to leave the juice, put that in the pot with it as well. Those juices from those vegetables like that always make soups and casseroles and things better. You never really want to drain those out. You almost always want to use them. Next up, we got a can of cream of chicken and mushroom soup. We're going to dump that in. A bit of garlic from a tube or crushed, or a clove, whichever you'd prefer. Doesn't really matter which way you take it. And some secret sauce. It's just soy sauce. Put about 2 teaspoons or 3 in there. That's probably good enough. We don't measure anything down here in Louisiana. We just add stuff till our ancestors say that's enough. So anyway, moving on with the vegetables. This is just a vegetable medley for soup, and we also have what we call the Holy Trinity down here: onions, peppers, and celery. You can't go wrong. Put that in any casserole or any soup that you're making, and it's instantly gonna take it to the next level. It's awesome. All right, at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and turn the stove on. We're gonna put it on the large burner. We're gonna put it on high. We want this to come up to temperature pretty fast. I'm gonna give it a stir right quick. Man, this is already starting to smell absolutely amazing. We're gonna take some ribbon pasta, just like this. I prefer the ribbon kind. You can use the bow ties or whatever, no big deal. We're just gonna take that, add the whole bag right there on top, and kind of smoosh it around. Give it a little bit of a shake, and that's it. Let's get the lid on. All right, so this is what the lid of the pressure pot looks like. It's got this valve back here that I was talking about. The other one is right here that works with this little clicky mechanism right there that locks the top of the pot. You've got an O-ring seal around here, and it's very important that you oil that O-ring seal before you put it onto the pot for the first time, and each additional time that you're going to use it, you want to put a little bit of vegetable oil on that seal. It's just going to make it seal up a little bit better and easier. It's going to make it easier to get on and off the pot. So let's do that. All right, so right here on the top side of the pot, there are these notches around the rim, and there are notches around this top side of the lid. So you're going to take it and offset it just a little bit. You'll figure out where it's got to go. Kind of give it a push down. You'll hear the air go out of it, and then slide it until it locks into place just like that. If you can lift up on it or take it off, it's not on there correctly. This is on here correctly. So we've got our burner on high, we got the pot lid on, we've got our hats in place just like that. You want to make sure that these can spin and that they're kind of free. If they're jammed to one side, you want to fix that. Get that down in there just like that. You want to make sure on your valve back here that it's not up or down. You want that sticking straight out to the side, because that's going to let you know that this valve is closed, which is what you want. So it is 12:39 right now. We're going to get this up to temperature and cook for 20 minutes. All right, everybody, so as you can see, right here, and you can hear this is doing its thing. Now, it's about 10 PSI in there right now, which is right about where I want it to be. That's a mid to a high level pressure. I'm gonna bring this down on the stove, turn it down just a little bit. You control the amount of pressure that's in the pot with the amount of heat that you're putting into it. So I want to bring it down just a little bit. I want it to kind of stay right where it's at. And while it's doing that, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the product. They give you a set of instructions that comes with it. It has some safety features and things in here. You absolutely need to read this before you use the pot for the first time. One of the things that you're going to want to do that it outlines in the instructions is to put some water in it, clean it, put it on the stove, and bring it up to temperature and pressure for the very first time and kind of cook the new off the pot. You're going to want to do that before you try to make a meal with it for the first time. Otherwise, some of that flavoring might end up in your food, and you don't want that. So make sure you do that before you get started. It also comes with 2 of these, which you can put down into the bottom of the pot to use as strainers, and you can put your other foods right on top of this, and it keeps those foods from touching the bottom of the pot. Let's say you wanted to steam a potato or something like that. You can put a little bit of water in the bottom of the pot, put this over the top of that, put your potato on here, and your potato is not sitting inside the water in the bottom of the pot. These are super useful. Something else that you can do with this is you can can things. You can, the type of mason jar in there, you can canning vegetables and fruits and things like that. You can do that with this, but it doesn't come with the baskets that you need for the jars and things like that, so you'll have to get one of those on your own. This is a standard 16-quart size pot, so as long as you get those things for a 16-quart size pot, you should be good to go.
All right, everybody. Well, you can see the time now is 1:11. The cooking is done. We've let it run for 20 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and turn the stove off, and we're going to take a spoon or some other instrument like this and open this valve in the back. You can see these are dancing from the pressure. This is going to be extremely hot. Do not open this with your hand ever. So we're going to pop this open. You can see here the pressure's falling. That's exactly what we want. You want to just give it a few minutes and let all of that steam and all of that pressure bleed out of the pot. All right, so that pressure is pretty much all done all the way out. I've put on some oven mitts just to be extra safe, and we're going to get this lid right off of this pot and see how our casserole is looking after only 20 minutes. All right, so let's set that to the side. And that's what we've got going on in there. The noodles are basically perfectly cooked. They are super soft. There's a little bit more liquid than I would like at the moment, but with just a few minutes of this just sitting here, it's gonna soak that up and everything is going to be good to go. So, check that out. After 20 minutes, that is absolutely perfect. All right, so what we're gonna do now, I've got just a cup of a 4-cheese blend here. We're gonna go ahead and put that in, and we're gonna give this a stir. Stir that around just a bit. I'm gonna let that sit for just a couple of minutes, and we'll serve it up. So, what do I think about the Want Joint pressure cooker overall? It did everything that the instructions in the book said that it would do. I have not tried to can anything with it, but I absolutely don't think that you would have any trouble doing something like that with this, because all of the bits and parts and pieces worked exactly as they should. I've got something yummy here that I'm gonna go eat, and if you're looking at this, I don't think that you would be disappointed. Thumbs up.